Hi, Ron from Clarity. So in this quick video, we're going to talk about preparing you for your HIPAA e-commerce implementation with these 3 actionable steps. And we want to find out, are we ready to take on and deploy our new HIPAA e-commerce solution? Let's dive right in. Number 1, conduct an internal readiness assessment for PHI handling. That could be for your current system, or that could be for the newly planned HIPAA commerce system. So if we're dealing with a new HIPAA planned commerce system, review and look at how the new system is going to handle all PHI. What's the data storage? What are the access controls? What are the encryption? Are we rotating encryption keys? What's the plan for that? Who has access to those keys? Who makes the decision? Who and which employees have access to the physical data? Where's it going to be stored? Who's doing the hosting? Do we have a BAA in place? Find a readiness assessment result for your dealing and handling of PHI. Number 2, and this happens to be related to, for the last 5 years running, most data breaches and penalties assessed by the Office of Civil Rights, who oversees the guidelines of HIPAA. Most of the fees that they assess are based on granting access to people who should not have access to specific data. Up front, we need to, number 2, outline all the user roles and the administrative controls up front to ensure that we have proper access management. So we need role-based controls. And I've used this example 100 times, but for example, Ron breaks his arm, I go to the ER, and I go down to the x-ray room, and the rad tech, the radiologist there, takes my x-ray, they read my x-ray, they upload it to my record, they put some notes with it, and then I go back to the ER and the doctor sees their notes. Well, that rad technician should have access to my record to upload and notate that x-ray because that's their job. But let's say, for example, I had a diagnosis also of type 2 diabetes or something. They should not have access to go through my record and look at other things that have been in my record. They shouldn't know whether I've gotten COVID vaccines. They shouldn't know whether I've got type 2 diabetes. That's not within their purview to provide care. The access should be scoped to the care provided. Does a receptionist need access to all of the information in a patient's record? Well, maybe at a psychologist they do, because if you're in a group and you're calling in to schedule an appointment and your psychologist is out of the office, they need to know maybe the type of thing you're being treated for so they know which other doctor to schedule you with, potentially. Well, if that can be justified and that can be supported, then maybe the receptionist has access to additional medical records that normally a receptionist would not. Remember, number 2, you got to get those roles scoped up front and make sure you've protected yourself. That's where most penalties are assessed. The final one is drafting your integration requirements for all third-party systems. Most of the time, Clarity in the last 20 years, we've done over 4,000 integrations. I mean, this is what we do the most of. People are coming to us going, hey, we need our storefront. Let's say we do an online pharmacy. We need that connected to SureScript so that we can do prescriptions and pull prescriptions in. We need it connected to the pharmacy so we can take that script and forward it to the pharmacy. We need to be connected to Quest Diagnostic Lab so when they buy the kit, they send it to the lab posts the results back, it comes back to the portal and notifies the patient in the patient portal with their lab results. Constantly doing integrations. You need to have everything mapped out and have a security protocol, access, and ensure that when you invite these third parties to participate, especially in sharing PHI data, that is all mapped out and you've got guidelines to ensure that you maintain your HIPAA compliance and your security and privacy. Quick review of the 3 items. Number 1, conduct an internal readiness assessment for handling PHI data. Number 2, outline all of the roles, both for users and staffs, but also the administrative controls up front. How are you going to handle and scope and control access to PHI data? And number 3, draft and document all of the policies and procedures if you're going to allow third-party systems to connect to your system that controls your PHI data. So that's it for today. We'll catch you in the next one.